So a top TNA star has tweeted out that he is done with the company and he's moving on. Other people have thanked him for being in TNA. And the question now poses itself, what is Samoa Joe doing next? He couldn't come to a contract agreement. Now, in the past, that it was said Triple H was a fan of him. Last year, he briefly followed him on Twitter, which led to speculation they were going to sign him. I think this all comes down to one simple thing. WWE didn't want to hire a big fat guy. A guy like Kevin Owens went out, trimmed down, and now look at him in NXT. He's blazing the trail. He's selling more merch than anybody else. He's putting on a show, and the fans are going crazy for him, regardless of his size, regardless of his look. You don't have to look like the big muscular superstar that Vince wants to sell. I think WWE is finally starting to realize that, and I hope this is their opportunity to bring Samoa Joe in, because I think Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, all these guys, they could have some great matches. Big guys can fly, and if you don't know who Samoa Joe is, I highly suggest you look up some of his stuff. Very athletic big dude. Big fat people aren't always lazy, stupid, eating cheeseburgers. Some are actually pretty entertaining and pretty cool looking, kind of like me. Woo! I'm kidding. I'm not. I'll be honest here. I don't know if he's going to go to WWE. I don't know what his plans are. Hell, for all we know, it could be a work. But I think Kevin Owens has kind of blazed the trail here a little bit. Now, there are other guys that have, you know, blazed the trail. But you have guys down at NXT. They don't fit the typical prototype look of a superstar. Kevin Owens. Baron Corbin's another guy. He's one hell of a strong dude, but he doesn't look like the prototypical WWE guy. But he's pretty over, and the fans like him down there. I love him. I love his finisher. I would love to see Samoa Joe in the WWE. I think he could put on some entertaining matches, and I think, you know, more than anything, it provides some filler, especially, you know, whether or not he stays down in NXT or he comes right up to the main roster. I don't know. He'd probably go to NXT because, you know, indie guys go to NXT, and I'm guessing that's what WWE considers TNA. But I think they can put on some really good matches. Now, I want to know what everybody else's thoughts are. Now, obviously, some of you may or may not know who Samoa Joe is. If you don't know who Samoa Joe is, like I said, go ahead and Google him. If you do know who Samoa Joe is, do you want to see him in WWE? Is he a guy that you think would fit in WWE? And, you know, before you continue to answer that, you know that Daniel Bryan wasn't a typical WWE guy, and look how that turned out. When a company takes some risks on talent and lets them do their thing, similar to Samoa Joe, I think it could pay off big. I think he could put on some very entertaining contests. I think he could do, you know, some high-flying big guy stuff. Like when Kevin Owens first did the cannonball in the corner at the NXT event, I think it was against Parker, they kind of lost their shit. Like, they already knew who Kevin Owens was, and they loved Steen as it was, but it was a very, very interesting thing. Now, I don't know if Samoa Joe will have the merch power that Kevin Owens does. He's got a lot bigger following than him, so I don't necessarily know if that'll mean or translate to anything, but I definitely know it could work. Now, when it comes to TNA, I think this is a big loss for TNA. Samoa Joe's been there very, very long time. One of the OGs. So now to come over to possibly WWE, maybe even Ring of Honor. I'd be honest with you, I'd be okay with him in Ring of Honor. I'm looking at the Ring of Honor roster, and I think he would fit well. I think him and the Briscoes, him and Roddy, if he comes back to wrestle off contract, him and Alberto El Patron. I think Samoa and El Patron could put on some good matches in ROH. I think that Samoa Joe would fit great in Lucha Underground. So no way, shape, or form do I think that Samoa Joe only has to come to the WWE. I think he'd work great in a lot of places right now. And, you know, that just goes to show, you know, so you don't watch ROH. I watch ROH every single week. It's on my DVR. Trust me, I watch ROH. Truth Martini, the House of Truth, Jay Lethal. I think that Jay Lethal and Samoa Joe could put on more epic matches. There's a lot of fit outside of just WWE that Samoa Joe would work into. And I think it would be a good thing for him to work in some of these other options. As much as I want him in WWE, I definitely think he can work other places. So I want to know your guys' thoughts. Where do you think best fits Samoa Joe's style? Where do you want to see him end up? Of course, if you only watch WWE, you probably want Samoa Joe in the WWE. But I think he'd be great to feed to Kevin Owens. I think they could put on some epic matches and still help put Kevin Owens over even more. So there it is, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Samoa Joe, possibly to WWE, ROH, Lucha Underground. What fits best?